Okay, obviously Steven. What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm joined by two very special guests and good pals of mine. Yeah, thank you for joining us, the two of you at the moment. But yes, so we have Jeff Johnson.
Hi, everybody.
And Stephen B. Jones. Yeah, I guess let's go. Sorry, let's bust those out. So if you want to follow them on social media, we've got Jeff's Twitter and Stephen's Instagram. Both accounts have amazing artwork, so definitely follow them if you can. So I guess first off, welcome to New Zealand again.
Excellent.
Thanks. Yeah, second time in almost 6 months.
Yeah, we're here in October.
Just over 6. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Jeff and Stephen, I met because we were booth buddies at Armageddon, Auckland, and we couldn't keep them away. They wanted to come back to New Zealand.
It's so nice here.
And so thanks to Animation College, UB Colleges, they bring you down for... So what do you guys...
We're both going to the Christchurch Armageddon.
Yes, Christchurch Armageddon. Yep.
And then we're going to give a small talk at the Animation College.
Oh, okay, cool.
The new one in Christchurch.
In Christchurch. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, if you are at Armageddon Christchurch this weekend, Jeff and Stephen will be there. Yep. What time's your flight tomorrow?
12-ish.
Oh, okay, so you're getting in the... I thought you were
we're giving the talk...
Red Eye in the morning.
No, we're giving the Christchurch talk tomorrow afternoon at the Animation College.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be at the show Sunday and Monday, so we won't be at the show.
Okay,
we
cool.
won't be on the show on Saturday.
Fanta Pants. Hey, what's up, Fanta Pants? Fanta Pants is a follower from Melbourne, Australia. Which I'll be next weekend for Oz Comic Con.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah,
sweet.
My friend Julianne's going to be there too.
Oh, okay, cool.
She's plays Featherstone on Preacher. I think they're shooting in
yes. Yeah, Julianne Emery. Yeah, she's going to be there. So,
from acting class?
I do, yeah.
Cool. I'll see if I can get close enough to her. Go, do you know Stephen B. Jones?
I know, dude. Please, I'll send her a note. That would be great. You should get a picture.
Oh, that's cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Oz Comic Con is always a great event. So you guys have Armageddon this weekend. Mm-hmm. I have ChromaCon, which is the illustration festival.
Oh, yeah.
Which sucks because the
same weekend.
It totally would have been something awesome for you guys to check out in terms of seeing local artists.
Right. It's also on the South Island, right?
No,
ChromaCon's in Auckland.
Okay.
Auckland only. So it sucks. That's why I'm not in Christchurch this weekend because
Gotcha.
I'm doing ChromaCon instead.
Maybe we can do ChromaCon next year.
It's every 2 years. So
it's every 2.
Right. So next one will be 2021.
Wow.
But yeah, in terms of this stuff, this is the the Bootleg Drink and Draw Social Club. Jeff is a founding member of the original Drink and Draw Social Club, which is packed full of amazing artists. Some of my favorite artists, Dave Johnson and Dan Panosian.
LA is we have a lot of really talented people there.
Yeah.
Little known fact: I was at the very first Drink and Draw. It was originally the 4 of us, but then I never went back.
Too intimidated. I would be intimidated. Just like, it's like, oh no, those guys.
It's not so much that, but Steve's not much of a drinker.
A little bit of a
So hanging out in bars is not his go-to.
But we're in a comic book shop now. So.
Yeah, well, we're here in Arkham City Comics. I often stream after work. And I'm very honored that you guys were able to catch up.
Awesome.
With the schedules that you've got, with the schedules I've got over the last
next
couple of weeks, it could have totally been ships in the night.
Totally.
Which would have been a shame.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm looking forward to see you guys, and it's like, damn it. But next Tuesday, when do you head back?
I go back on Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday. Are you up here on Tuesday?
I think so. I don't know. We head back sometime on Tuesday. I don't know exactly.
Because you're doing Dr. Sketchies.
Yeah, we have Dr. Sketchy here in Auckland. Yeah. Not in here. We did hold the last one here, which we had the Wonder Woman theme.
Okay.
Which I streamed that as well.
Excellent.
But it's in the city.
Okay.
Cool.
And
Maybe
so
we can do that one. That
Dr.
Sketchies is fun.
Arkham City Comics is one of the sponsors. So I would just go, hey guys, I'm coming in with a couple of
very cool
animation.
We have Dr. Sketchies in LA too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Auckland was one of the first international Dr. Sketchies. It's been around since 2006, 2007.
Ancient times.
They started sort of right around the same time we started doing Drink and Draw.
Yeah. And so I've been part of Dr. Sketchy Auckland since 2007.
Yeah.
And I've often been too busy as a working artist.
Do you think?
do them,
but figure drawing is so important, though.
Yeah. So like, honestly, like the years I spent, it's raining, so you'll hear
right.
We're not raining really hard. What are the drinks tonight? Fancy Pants. What are you drinking, Stephen?
This is currently
Pearls and Thrills by Garage Project.
Yeah.
Some local ales we have on selection. What's that one? Churro. Sure. From Behemoth, Chur. So when New Zealanders say cheer.
And my favorite indigenous New Zealand.
So that's what I'm drinking, because I don't drink alcohol, so Alan P.
So I think I'll be the one drinking most of the beers.
I mean,
we are drinking.
I'm drinking some beer, sure, and then I'm drinking LP.
The thing is, the gimmick isn't to drink alcohol anymore.
No, it's just basically it's a reason to hang out.
Right, I should have gone to every one. I misunderstood. Well, I could have been drinking Coke all the whole time.
We have it definitely started in a bar because it was an easy watering hole to all centralize that, but we have plenty of people who didn't drink.
Yeah.
Bob Layton doesn't drink. He used to come to them all the time.
He's come down to New Zealand for Armageddon.
Yeah.
What an intimidating looking dude. Like
Bob,
he's so tall, his statue is just
he's a great guy.
But he was really nice.
He's such a friendly guy.
So it's kind of interesting. For those of you who are watching, if you have any suggestions for us to draw,
I was just going to start playing around.
But if you want to start drawing, then we'll get to it. Feel free to ask any questions. Fanta Pants does say Chur, which is the name of the alcohol. So we'll just put the vessels in the middle. So let's get to sketching. So it's cool that we were able to kind of make this happen.
So cool.
And then catch up with you guys again. As I said, it's a shame I won't be able to hang out with you guys at Armageddon.
Yes.
The last show was so much fun.
And we got to sit with literally my artistic hero, which was Eduardo Riso.
Yeah.
The artist from 100 Bullets and Moonshine and
Vampire Boy.
Well, yeah, exactly. I was able to both scare and impress him by going back to like every comic he'd drawn since like 1989. So I think he's like, "Oh, that's great," and then like
it really is a fan.
Wait a minute, this guy's but he is also the nicest person in addition to being the most talented living artist. Sorry, Dave Johnson.
So
some debate whether Dave's living or not.
So what have you guys been working on recently? Is there anything?
So I just finished doing a stint on the new Harley Quinn cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Is that the one for DC Universe?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's the only cartoon I've done. I've been working in animation, I guess, for like 15 years, Joe, something like that.
That's exactly right. I think 2004 is your first.
So I've been doing.
I keep track of all the numbers.
He's the numbers guy. Yep.
I don't remember any of that stuff.
I'm the guy in the chair.
Yeah,
guy in the chair.
So this is the only cartoon that my wife has had any interest in watching, because I showed her the animatic from the episode I was working on, and she laughed out loud. And it's a very funny episode, and it's really interesting. But it was certainly the only cartoon she's ever been.
And Jeff did a really great job on it. Not that he would show me something that. Now that I think about that, where an NDA was, but he described it to me.
Yes,
that would be
also bad.
Subject change.
The episode I was working on had just a lot of. One of the reasons I got the gig is because my friend was the director, and he knew that I would really enjoy doing a fight scene, acrobatic between the characters, and so I got to really go all out on a heist and some fighting and some good acrobat. Yeah, it was good times.
I think it's here's what happens with poor Jeff is that Jeff has become so good at really, really difficult, elaborate, like multi-characters fighting each other fight scenes that every time some director in animation gets a script like that, then they're like, "Oh, Jeff could do a really great job on this." And then Jeff's always like, "Will anyone ever just give me two people
talking? I mean,
seeing them talking."
That's what comics are for.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. The irony is that there's no comic that Jeff hates drawing more than two people having a conversation. One of the last things you did at Marvel, I won't name its name, but there was like an 8-page conversation in a booth at a diner, and I think every day Jeff's like, complaining saying he's
Because I draw about a page a day when I'm doing well, and this conversation was 11 pages long. It was basically just two guys recapping in a diner.
Yeah.
So I was in that diner with those two guys for 2 weeks, just drawing the same.
Was this a Michael Bendis?
Yeah, no.
So as to not throw anyone's directly at Jeff also had another amazing thing at Marvel where I won't name the actual names, but it was like two characters that you would love to see just having an awesome battle. You're like, oh, this would be the greatest thing, and it was literally just one long conversation scene, and then at the last,
I'll say it. Like it was, I did a Punisher and Blade.
Wouldn't you like to see a battle between Punisher and Blade, or them
it was a
killing
Marvel
bunch of
team up
vampires?
between Punisher and Blade.
Me too.
And when they called me and they said, "Hey, do you want to do this?" I was like, "Yeah,
Of course.
I want to draw Punisher and Blade." And it turned out it was them. And it was I'm like, "Oh, is it a vampire gang?" They're like, "Exactly." And I said, "That's great." But it turned out to be Punisher and Blade sitting on top of a roof,
discussing their choices,
discussing their histories and their lives, while the vampire gang was below them,
seething.
And then at the end, the last 2 pages is a 2-page spread of Blade leaping down, about to fight the vampire gang, and that's how
it ends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Ask for a refund.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. Well, so in a way, it's your animation career is careful what you wish for, because you've almost never gotten a conversation scene in your entire.
No.
Because didn't you say on the plane ride here, you were saying a kid in front of you, in the seat in front of you, was watching you.
Oh yeah, one of the gigs that Steve and I worked on together when we were at WB was the Scooby-Doo WW.
Oh yeah, the WWE. Yeah, I remember you telling me
the
about that
second
last
one,
year.
not the first one, the one with the what's his name, the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep.
But
and so I drew. I got the fight scene where the Scooby monster, the villain, fights Hulk Hogan on a car that's got a parachute attached to it as it's falling down a ravine.
Yeah.
And it's swinging back and forth, and they're having a battle. And so
on the hood of a car,
on the hood of a giant,
parachuting down.
So I mean, complicated physics.
Yeah.
And they're both wrestling, and I tried to make sure that each of them had their signature moves, so that I did all this research, and then at one point someone does a backflip off of that onto another car before it lands. It was a very complicated scene.
And Jeff is incapable of faking any of that stuff, so
Yeah.
he will
So
literally
I had,
be there with like a matchbox
yeah,
car.
I had
like,
all the
checking the
like
physics.
how the would swing and what they would do.
They got cut.
So
Kinda.
Oh no.
yeah.
But no, but most of it stayed intact. But it took me forever.
Yeah.
It took me forever. I had charts. I had diagrams of how stuff worked.
Jeff did unfortunately learn an important lesson about saving to the server or cloud on that one, because he lost like 2 weeks of work.
Oh.
I did all this research and reference, and I had done a lot of thumbnails, and then I was cleaning my desktop, and I accidentally deleted the entire file. And then,
Do you want to permanently delete this? Yes.
yes, right. And so,
Are you sure you want to permanently delete this?
after I deleted
Yes.
it, I panicked, and I spent hours on the phone with the IT department trying to figure out if I could get it back.
Yeah.
And then the only helpful tidbit from Jones is like, doesn't it ask you twice if you want to delete it? I'm like, yeah, it does. As a matter of fact, it asks you twice.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear about. Are you sure?
Yeah, you probably I guess if you have like Alexa or something, some gimmick like that, you probably thought it was your wife nagging you, like, are you sure?
Are you
yes.
sure?
Are you sure? Yes.
Yes.
Of course I'm sure.
I'm sure.
And then you're like, oh no, whoops.
Alexa, I take it back.
Yeah, I said I wanted to.
Yeah. It's like, I wasn't really listening.
No.
What was that again? What did you ask me to delete?
I was not listening at all.
Yeah. So yeah. It's hilarious. Yeah, no, like for me, when I work digitally, because I use a gamer keypad with my Wacom Mobile Studio Pro, one of the hotkeys is save. And so I'm just in the habit, because I'm right-handed. So with my left hand, I'm tapping away with all my hotkeys, and just like it's just natural where it just goes tap, and then it's saved.
I learned that skill that day. Yeah.
Well, I think too, at that point, that might have been one of the first times you worked on on Toon Boom too, right, Jeff? And it was, so like Toon Boom is, or Storyboard Pro. It's a program. I think they're based out of Montreal in France or in Quebec.
They're French Canadian, I think, right?
Yeah, and they've got an autosave function on there, which is great. But you've got to
turn it on.
That's the first key.
You're right. Yeah, no, I learned many lessons that day. I learned a lot about regret and shame.
There's a lot of tears. I mean, I lost half a day's work on Toon Boom once, and then from that point, I've just become ridiculously strict of, I think I have autosave, but then every hour I also just save to my thumb drive and to the server, so that it's like, all right, look, no matter what, I don't want to lose more than an hour. Yeah, it's physically possible.
But I mean, that's making art in the digital world, right? Like it's different. It's different than when I was younger. We always worked on paper. So you draw on paper still, and you do a lot of digital stuff, right?
Yeah, most of my work stuff is digital. Mm-hmm. But for conventions and whatnot, I still bust out the.
Well, this is nice toothy paper.
Yeah, this is like watercolor paper.
Yeah, that's got some tooth.
So I was like, this would be interesting to draw. And I wasn't sure what kind of
no, this is fun.
Medium you guys would use. So I was like, at least this, if you were gonna bust out something fancy like watercolors or something, like this would be able to hold it. Because I was expecting because I see like Dan stuff.
I'm strictly.
I'm just like, come on, dude.
Yeah, no, I generally draw with a ballpoint pen.
Yeah.
And then when I do my drink and draw for our live stream, I have the big pad of paper.
Yeah, I've seen that, and you got like on the easel type thing, and so everyone can kind of see it.
So it makes it easier for everyone to watch while I'm drawing, but also it's kind of fun for me because I'll just use a Sharpie.
Those are great.
Yeah,
the big. It's fun to see you draw big like that.
Well, it's fun to do because you get like when you draw mostly, it's very, especially if you're on the screen.
Yeah,
it's a very small
compact
movement.
Yeah.
But when I'm drawing on the big pad of paper, I get to use my shoulder. I get to it's a completely different experience. I feel like the drawings themselves are different.
Yeah.
Draw with your belly.
Yeah. My hurrah.
That's why I kind of got like this A3 size paper because it's not too big, but it's decent enough size that you can kind of play around with what you want to draw rather than being confined to something smaller. So let's see, what if you can see that
I'm drawing a Wolverine.
Good old Wolverine. I'm drawing a Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's cool because did you see the Miles time lapse I did?
No. I missed.
Last week I was in the Auckland Central Library doing a digital drawing demo for ChromaCon. One of the activations, and I asked the kids what they want me to draw, and they're like, Spider-Man. Okay, then cool. And so I was like, I'm so glad I could draw Miles Morales and not have the kids go, who's that? That's not Spider-Man. So it's kind of cool that Miles is now Spider-Man for a lot of kids now.
No, it's so great.
And that movie was amazing.
I saw it 5 times in the theater because I kept taking people that hadn't seen it yet.
It's I think it was one of those things where they really pushed the boundaries of what you can do with animation. And I think I absolutely applaud Sony for allowing them to take those chances.
Yeah. So much. Thank God to Phil Lord and those guys because they had the juice to be able to push it, and then for Sony to allow them to push it. Because it just blows the roof now off of obviously there's been some spectacularly well-drawn design movies from Disney and Pixar and DreamWorks over the past 25 years, but there's also a little bit of a sense of that you can't vary too much from what is
there's a house style.
Those shapes for sure.
Yeah. And so, besides the fact that we got Miles in there, which is fantastic, just what they did stylistically, it just breaks it open. Yeah. Now, anyone at Disney or any one of those other companies, they can point at Spider-Verse and say, well, look, these guys did it, and they won an Oscar, and they made a ton of money, and so I can't wait to see what it's going to inspire as well.
Exactly. That's one of the things I loved about it, was that as an artist, you couldn't help but fizz with energy and inspiration just by watching that.
Yeah.
Because you could see all these little design choices and aesthetic choices and then like the sound design as well. Like, because I follow Daniel Pemberton.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because he did. I love that King Arthur movie that he did the soundtrack.
But like seeing the stuff he was doing in terms of mixing, like all kinds of things. Like I saw him like with pieces of paper rustling them, and then like using turntables as well to like add like some of that into the mix. I'm like, oh man! Like even the sound design,
It's incredible.
Was unique and groundbreaking. So from like everything, that film was just like top to bottom, really changed what you can do as a creative.
So inspiring.
So
and great. I mean, like my son, who is so obsessed with soccer, he just blew off all superhero related stuff. It's like my son looks a lot like Miles Morales, and so suddenly now there's like, all right, I guess Spider-Verse is cool. You know, like that. Now that's the one superhero thing he thinks is kind of cool, and because his friend, literally kids come up to him at school saying, "Oh, Johnny, you look like Miles Morales." He's like, oh, "Okay, that's kind of."
I'll take that. That's cool. Like, and I think that's one of those things. Is like one of those reasons why diversity and representation matter
so much.
Right, because you can see yourself.
And especially as a Samoan artist, you know. Like I absolutely love Moana. There's there's some great designs and stuff, and like the nods to a lot of the cultures. Like some issues with like some like it being more of a combination amalgam of like actual cultures.
Right.
But I also understand why they kind of wanted to make it its own thing. So like
you mean for Moana?
Yeah. So like rather than going we are Samoan, they were just kind of like we're going to take bits and pieces.
We're islanders.
Pacific Island.
So I felt like it really did represent Polynesia and our cultures. But yeah, it was just one of those things like I saw so many kids, island kids like I don't know what these girls saying they're Moana. I've got a niece who looks like Moana. She's got like the big frizzy hair and stuff, and the curly hair. We always kind of make fun of her.
No, my daughter has that same with Tiana. Tiana is definitely her favorite princess. For that same reason.
Yeah, so like just that Miles stuff and seeing Spider-Man, as someone that looks like you. It's cool.
Yeah. And is such a great character. His parents are such great characters.
Okay, Zakora. Sorry, we were too busy drawing. Zakora says morning or hello. What time is it at your place? It is currently almost 7:30 p.m. in New Zealand. Whereabouts are you based, Zakora? If it's morning, you must be either in the States or maybe England or something.
The States, it's 5 hours back.
Yeah, it could be
5 hours
she
forward.
could be in New York or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm currently joined by Jeff.
Germany.
Oh, Germany. Oh,
yeah.
Guten Tag.
Yeah, Guten Tag.
Mein Fräulein.
Heinemocker Frau?
It's 9 p.m. over there. Oh, okay, that's cool. So 9 p.m. Thursday. So it's 7:30 p.m. Friday here in New Zealand. We live in the future.
Yep.
So whenever Jeff and Stephen travel to New Zealand, they travel forward in time.
We have to bring our Legion flight rings.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because they do come from a backwards country. But
I can't argue that.
We're working on it.
We're trying.
But yeah, no, thank you for joining us. That wasn't bad. Oh, cool. Thank you. We're just currently drawing and drinking.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna.
You try more of the pills and thrills?
Yeah, pills and thrills.
So we have a selection of
you gotta try
some
this
local
Lake Man thing just for the drawing.
That's next on the target.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Thank you for joining us.
I'm about to finish my beer and move on strictly to my L&P.
Sure.
In honor of the great country that we're in.
Right. So many things we can't get in the States. We can't get L&P. We can't get chicken salt.
Oh, Fijo's aren't really a thing.
No, I just had my first one yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Totally blew my mind.
Which one's that?
It's a
the little
fruit.
fruit.
No, it's not Fijo season there. So
No, it was last month.
That was last month, though. No, because we do have a Fijo tree at home.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah. There's also Fijo vodka, flavored vodka.
Wow.
Plus, there's a lot of I think I saw you could get like apple and is it Fijoa? Is that saying it right?
Yeah, Fijoa.
Fijoa.
Yeah.
Juice, where I'm like, I must now have the juice.
Yeah, no, yeah. I didn't realize Fijoa was another thing.
Well, I mean, we get kiwis,
yeah,
but
They're pretty rare to get them good.
they're pretty rare to get them good. And
are they always sour ones?
Sour-ish.
shower, yeah.
Yeah.
But also,
Or
I
too
never
hard.
had kiwi juice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Until I was-
Yeah,
until I
it's interesting because kiwi fruit juice is prickly. Like it's like because I think some of the things are like you're drinking it, it's like it's nice, and you kind of get that sensation, prickly sensation. So it's a little weird.
Didn't someone say it's kind of like prune juice in the States?
Yeah,
too?
you
It's-
need
it's
to be
good for
careful
your-
with
It's
it.
good for your
Oh, okay.
digestive.
Yeah, I don't drink kiwi fruit juice, so I'm not too sure about it.
Its digestive benefits.
Yeah.
Well, I remember this is when my wife is from the East Coast, and she'd never really had a
America.
good avocado before.
Oh, okay.
And then when she moved to California,
Yeah.
she had avocado for the first time. It was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah. This is why people like guacamole
Right.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then she'd never had fresh pineapple, once again from the East Coast. So we had our honeymoon because I was a kid in Hawaii and my mom lives there. So we had a honeymoon. She had fresh pineapple for the first time. And she's like, oh, it's sweet. I'm like, yeah, it's delicious.
It's so good.
Yeah, because my mum lived in Hawaii for about 10 years, eh? Yeah, and that's when Christian was born.
So you were born in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just born in the States, man.
good times.
So one of you guys.
Yeah, excellent. Hawaii is its own thing.
Yes.
They would not like it. They would rather not.
Yeah, they don't like that.
the annexation of
Their whole
of
country.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Sovereign nation.
So the real Yakashi. Wow. Oh, thank you. Glad you're enjoying the artwork that's being created here by the three of us. Fanta Pants wants to know, what is your guest's favorite food to eat in New Zealand?
Well, clearly the
French fries with chicken salt?
Yeah.
So okay, so Fanta Pants. Here's the thing: chicken salt, chicken seasoning on chips is not a thing outside of New Zealand and Australia.
well, chips are not
Yeah.
a thing in the States.
It's fries.
French fries.
But,
French fries.
they're not as good. They're
Yeah.
not. They're,
So last time these guys were here, I took them to KFC and had a serving of hot chips with the KFC seasoning, and it absolutely blew their minds.
Yes.
okay.
So that's definitely one of the things I know for sure that they was it. Is it
Hokey pokey
Hokey
ice
pokey.
cream.
Hokey pokey ice cream?
Cannot
Cannot get out of the
Yeah.
States.
that's a New Zealand thing too. I don't think Australia has hokey pokey.
No.
So good. Have you been to Giapo? Down
Yeah, in the city. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always find Giapo
It's a bit much, actually.
It's a bit rich, and it's
But the hokey pokey is good.
yeah. I always find gelato a bit too fancy for me. I'm a simple ice cream dude.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, wait. When your country is one big giant delicious dairy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, the dairy and meat as well is
better.
Is you can taste the difference. That's why when I'm in the States, I'm like, wow, this food would be so
Also,
much better if it was New Zealand.
Another thing you guys have, and the thing you guys have so much better is you have actually real, not just edible, but delicious gas station food. Like you can get pies at a gas station all across New Zealand.
Yeah, right.
If you eat at a gas station in the States,
You're gonna
watch
get
out.
sick. Yeah.
It's not. It's,
Oh yes, I have seen 7-Eleven pizza, and what are they? It's not. It's like a little rolls.
yeah. Do not eat it. I mean, I love
Tostitos,
7-Eleven.
No?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so they're called. I remember looking at them going, ooh.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anything in a package, I think at 7-Eleven, you could eat, but I wouldn't recommend eating any of the quote unquote fresh food.
Yeah.
Watch, I'm gonna get a letter from 7-Eleven.
Sure.
But Fanta Pants says that in Australia they do import hokey pokey from New Zealand.
Oh,
Zakora
Smart
from
country.
Germany again. She loves the artwork we're creating, and
thank you.
she says that she has two left hands, but she's more of a crafting type. That's awesome. Like my girlfriend, she's more of a crafter. She likes making stuff. She like Friday nights she's usually at a weaving class.
My wife knits now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she creates
Knitting is cool.
Yeah, weaving, Polynesian style weaving.
Oh, cool.
Māori weaving. So man, to each their own. Drawing is just one aspect of being creative.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's probably half of the people that work in animation are left-handed, so they might object to your two left hands coming.
They'd probably be like, "Oh, I'd love to have two left hands."
Yeah, man, I could get twice as much work done.
yeah. Let me.
So yeah, Jeff just finished working on a couple of Harley storyboards. I'm working on that show Big Mouth that's on.
Oh, I absolutely love Big Mouth.
It's a really funny show.
That's the funniest.
Yeah,
it's
a really
totally,
funny show.
it's totally my sense of humor. So I was like, I was trawling through Netflix and went, this looks weird. Let me click, and then I was like, I can't stop watching it.
It's really funny.
It really is funny. Like, it's the strangest show in the world to work on, though, because you actually have to sign a you have to sign a waiver before you work there, basically acknowledging that the subject matter is so crazy and bizarre. So it's like I've spent my entire
so
animation.
don't get offended.
Yeah, I've spent my entire animation career trying to just be as polite and well-mannered as possible at work, and then literally we're having discussions where, can we swear on your podcast? Yeah. So it's like we're literally executive producers are saying all right, so when this character humps that character, is it from this position or that? You're just having this whole very scientific, methodical discussion about really intense, dirty, scatological stuff. Where it's just sometimes I'm like, I can't believe we're getting paid to have this discussion right now.
Right.
It's like,
it'd be like, can we get a couple of volunteers just to act this out so we can understand?
yeah, or you
understand the physics.
Or you look over at the person next to you and they're drawing a vagina, and you're just like, I just did not expect to look over and see that today.
Big Mouth was just one of those things where once I started watching it, I was like, oh my god, this cartoon was made just for me.
It's the first cartoon since Brave and the Bold that my kids have shown an interest that I'm
Yeah, but you can't let your kids watch.
No, I mean, I feel like my son's 12 and a half, so I kind of would almost love to have him watch it just because.
The
It's
stuff
about to
that
become
you could
very
kind of
real
talk.
for him
Well,
soon.
yeah, because it's it could be a way to talk about a lot of this stuff, but at the same time, it's so the sense of humor is so adult, even though it's talking about teenage stuff, that it's maybe just too racy.
Yeah.
You're going to have that conversation soon, right? Isn't it almost time for the talk?
Oh, the talk happened a long time ago.
Oh, a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, well, my kids are very.
All right, I guess it's
But,
modern days.
Yeah, I mean, I probably. I don't know if I should. I don't know if my son would want me to share the details of it, but he asked some very interesting questions, and I answered them to the best of my ability.
I can't even.
There was a fair amount of laughter, I'll say. I think he found the whole process somewhat humorous. Wait, that's two people do that?
Oh, it's still funny.
It is funny.
Well, depending, it doesn't necessarily have to be two people.
Right.
And
it isn't always
Could be three or four, or sadly,
yeah.
it might just be something one's doing by himself. No, not always sadly, I suppose.
So what have you been working on lately?
Some advertising storyboards that came in the last couple of weeks.
Cool.
And now that's done, trying to get back on track with Headlock, the wrestling graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I'm so behind on that, and it's
hard to fit in, more paying work and
yeah,
stuff. It always has a deadline associated with it, an emergency deadline.
We should come up with some sort of story that Dan and Mikkel could work on together, where it's like boxing versus wrestling.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I know Dan's a good friend of Josh Barnett.
Oh yeah,
and Josh did a foreword for
War
one
Master,
for one of the Headlocked volumes.
Oh, excellent.
So he's a fan of Headlock, and so that's kind of crazy. I'm like, oh my god, Josh Barnett likes my work.
He's a master of catch wrestling.
Yeah, because I follow Josh on.
He's a huge comic book fan.
Yeah, huge comic book fan, huge pro wrestling fan.
Oh yeah.
What cracks me up is on back on DeviantArt when we all had to just come up with goofy nicknames. When you first joined DeviantArt, So I had this nickname from college that my friends called me Jonesy Kitty after Alien. You know.
Oh yes,
like,
yep.
Jonesy Kitty. Right. And so when I saw that all these people had these goofy nicknames on DeviantArt, I'm like, all right, that's the only nickname that stuck with me that I kind of thought was funny. I'll just be Jonesy Kitty. Not realizing that years later when I met people in the flesh, I'd have to be like, oh, hi, yeah, I'm
Jonesy Kitty.
Jonesy Kitty, nice to meet you. And then Dan, of course, thinks that nickname is so ludicrous and likes to make fun of it that that's how he now tries to introduce me to everybody. So Josh Barnett now knows me as Jonesy Kitty.
Alien, I must admit, Alien is one of my top favorite films.
Such a great movie.
Indeed. The first two, the Alien and Aliens are two of the greatest movies.
I'm also a fan of the fourth one.
Me too. Well, right up until the first half hour.
Resurrection?
Yeah, Resurrection. I feel like the first half hour of Resurrection is awesome. And then there's this one strange moment where the bad guy from The Crow, I think Michael Wincott, that actor, he's so great in
He's
that.
great in it.
And he just his character randomly just walks down a corridor for no reason and gets something bad happens to him, in case you're one of the people that hadn't seen that movie. And from that point, then the movie doesn't really make any sense. But those first half hour totally makes sense.
Alien I prefer over Aliens.
Fair enough.
Because I really love the claustrophobic vibe of it. It was like a space thriller. You barely saw the alien.
Yep. Cinematography is incredible.
And that's one of the things I loved about it. Aliens I like, but it was too actiony. I was trying to use the swarm tactic as the fear mechanic. And I was like, oh, it's interesting, but it just didn't have the same effect because you just saw them, and it's like, oh no, I liked kind of having the audience make up their mind as to what these things look like. So that also John Carpenter's The Thing.
So good.
I absolutely love that film.
It's a greatest.
It was funny.
I just watched it again recently.
So
now at the end, do you think
tied to this fucking couch?
Do you think that they're drinking gasoline at the end? Have you heard that theory?
No, I haven't.
The theory I forget where I read it, but the idea that they're drinking gasoline to see which one of them might actually be the thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's...
there's a board game of The Thing now.
What?
A bunch of my friends at Warner Brothers play it.
I remember seeing a Kickstarter for that, I think it was.
Yep.
That's definitely one of my favorite films. And it was funny, the second San Diego Comic Con I went to, I did a postcard comic to hand out to people, right? And
always hustling.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
you got.
Trying to be a point of difference from everyone else. It's like, hey, here's this postcard comic about where I am.
I love those stories. I love those stories. How you're like, how do I get noticed? How do I set myself apart?
So where the workshops booth and it was big. The first time I was there, they had the small booth, because they had nothing coming up. But then the next year it was like the Lord of the Rings stuff and coming up, and a whole bunch of stuff. They had a huge booth, and Greg Broadmoor, who's one of the top designers.
So you're just a baby at this point, Michael.
This is 2012.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
I
thought you meant original Lord of the Rings. I'm like this. I thought this was 2000 or something like that. I'm
this
like,
is it. And
younger than your brother.
So I rock up and Greg Broadmoor's there and it's like, yo, what's up? And we always laugh because we catch up overseas at cons. But
more than
Wellington's an hour flight away. And so we always laugh about that. And Greg's there and he's like, oh, have you met Richard? I'm like,
oh,
no. He goes, oh, let me introduce you. So he goes to the back and Sir Richard Taylor comes out. and he's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. He's real nice dude. And then Greg's like, oh, you gotta show him your postcard comic. So I show it to Richard Taylor and he's like, this is really good. Because I'd drawn Peter Jackson on this postcard.
That's awesome.
Because I'm kind of I'm from New Zealand, we made all this stuff and I had drew Peter Jackson. And I said to Richard, I know that you did most of the work. Peter Jackson's the figurehead, so I drew him because people would recognize him. And he goes, oh, no, he's totally understandable. He goes, do you have more of these? I said, yes, I do. Can I have a few?
Nice.
He goes, I was talking to John Carpenter's wife recently. I'd love to give her one. I'm like, you want to give one to John Carpenter? Here, take all of these.
That's awesome.
So it was just crazy. It was just, oh my god, you were talking to one of my favorite directors' wife.
That's
just before you were talking to me. and he wants to promote me on my behalf because of the work I've done in the postcard comic, and so there's crazy stuff like that, and but I was just like, that's like my almost met John Carpenter story. I also love like Halloween.
So good.
Classic.
Yeah, and Big Trouble in Little China.
Did you get that album from a couple years ago? Carpenter put out something called like Lost Themes, I think, and it was a bunch of themes that he'd done.
Christine as well, yeah. Like no, I haven't.
I'll send you the link.
Wait, it's just his music?
It's him doing a bunch, and I think it's a bunch
of
music
themes that
didn't end up making it into any movies, but like 2 or 3 of them are particularly good. Like they would really fit in great to like any movie.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, we've been busy talking. Say Sakura. She said no offense for left-handers and the 2 left-hand thing, but she says in Germany there are 2 cons she loves to do, and she's in total cosplay crunch right now to get her stuff ready for the good. Yeah, we understand the crunch. Animation, comics, advertising. Advertising is so brutal.
It's rough, isn't it?
Yeah, because the advertising agencies, they have all that time to come up with their brief, and then they're like, oh yeah, we need this drawn by the weekend.
Yeah, we shoot this weekend. Yeah.
We need this as soon as possible. You're like, I've got the hard part.
Yeah.
And then so hearing some of like the animation crunch, and then like also the game crunch as well.
Yeah.
Like when I heard about the Sonic stuff, where they were going to go back and redesign them, I was like, oh my god,
those poor
the
guys.
the animation crew are going to be absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I do like about comics is that yes, you have the deadlines they can be fierce and there's a lot of work to be done, but there's never the same kind of last minute changes that happen. Maybe there are now, but like in animation, you'll work a month on a scene and then they'll be like, oh, that's different now. So we need to do a whole other scene. My friend used to do cleanup at Disney.
Yeah.
And he was saying that you would have a joke in a film for years, and then right towards the end, someone would decide that joke's not funny anymore. So they would have to write and do a whole new joke. Because they've been looking at it for 3 years.
Yes.
And for them, it's old hat. So he would say, like, you would throw out a perfectly good joke and start from scratch all the time, just at the end.
Man.
Yeah, because the people that we know, with TV, it's more like drawing comics where the schedule is so rough that the hard part about it is just how much you have to do, and then you've only got a certain amount of time on it, and that's it. And then my understanding from the folks I know in features, it's more like what might make it hard for them is they're working on something forever, but they might do the same scene like 100 times.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what if the entire scene that you did, what if it happened now on a beach? Or what if it happened now in space, or something?
Right.
And then, we've completely rewritten that scene. We just rewrote it this morning, and now will you do the whole thing before this afternoon's meeting with the producers or something like that? So they have a different kind of pain.
I was on Boondocks once, and
that's one of my favorite cartoons as well.
Oh yeah. I was second season. That's the only one I'm really familiar with, because that's the one I was in the.
Yeah.
So I was in we were in the editing bay, and we were going over stuff, and there were a bunch of TV executives on a conference call, and we're final editing of the cartoon, right? And so over the conference call, one of the TV executive guy goes like, "Oh, that's great, but can we get it? Can we use the shot from the other side? Can we get the reverse angle of that?" And the animation director's like, "We only have the one shot.
Yeah.
Like we didn't draw other shots.
Right.
Like we didn't get coverage.
Yeah.
We didn't draw on coverage, and it could not explain the concept to the TV guy."
I worked on a TV show with a producer that had come mostly from features, and it was the same kind of thing, like where he really wasn't very good at looking at storyboards and stuff. It was only when it was in a final animatic stage, and then it would be the same thing of, "Oh, do we have any coverage on this?" And you're like, "No, we made all those choices already."
Yeah, we did
what
this.
I mean? Like, it's drawn. Someone didn't just sit and draw the whole scene, like from all these different angles, just so that later we could maybe use it.
Right. That's one of the things I think is different between a storyboard artist and like say a film director is that when we turn in our board, we've already made all the editorial choices.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I know. I mean, Jeff and I talk about process a lot. Like when
We're very boring in that way.
for anyone that is not us.
Yeah.
And I know for me with when I storyboard and I read the script, like the first thing I do is this thing that Jeff and I both worked with a good friend of ours, and the first thing I do is like a beat board. Like I take the script and then I basically just do another written document of just writing down more or less like a shot list or a beat board, like where I'm taking the written script and turning it into like, well, how am I imagining? So I'm basically going through it one time very quickly, just doing the beat board list, and then I do a thumbnail, literally just tiny on a piece of paper on the same beat board thing, going through it again, just imagining the whole thing visually now, and then I redraw those thumbnails into Toon Boom. So in a way, by the time I'm doing it in Toon Boom, it's like the third time I've done it. But I've done it so quick and fast and small and easy that I can go through that process so that you're really living in it moment to moment multiple times before you know, God forbid you're actually putting any real work into doing any real drawing.
Yeah.
You know, and the great thing about Toon Boom is that then you can import the dialogue in, and just with the crummiest thumbnails, you can actually kind of have a loose timing and have it talk to see if it plays before you do any kind of more finished drawing.
Okay.
You know, and
It's really helpful.
Yeah, ideally, it's a really good time saver.
What's your favorite part of the creative process in terms of like where do you find the most enjoyment?
I love getting the job.
Yeah.
That moment where you get hired.
There is no better moment than when you have gotten the job, but you don't have to do it yet.
You haven't started yet, but you've just like oh yeah, you're going to work on this, you're going to do this, and you're like, yay! And then finishing the job. But getting the job is my favorite moment.
I don't know if finishing the job
even counts.
Well, because it's like it's just such a mixture of emotions at that point.
Right,
I mean,
it's just,
like you're focusing on the thank God, the relief that it's over, but there might
Yeah.
be so much shame, recrimination, sadness about what went wrong or didn't go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, unquestionably, getting the job is the best.
Right, that's the best.
That's probably the best answer. Like, the I feel. I was like, I know that feeling.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, no, I'm about to work on this. And,
oh yeah, that's the best.
Yeah.
Because you haven't done any of the things yet.
But let's now answer say creatively, what's the best part of the job?
Yeah, what part of the process do you find?
What's your favorite part?
I love figuring out the math of it. Like I love figuring out the combination of this angle leads to that angle, this beat leads to that beat. I love building the story of it. Like I love figuring that part out. Once I've done that, I'm less interested in the story. So I'm definitely an old school layout penciler guy. The actual lines themselves are not the thing that I'm really that good at. It's what it's going to be. Sort of the outline of stuff is more my thing.
But you do like doing the finished part in a comic, don't you think?
I do. I like there's a zoning out and just being in the moment that I like about that. But when it comes to storyboarding, like figuring out what it's going to be.
Like if your job was to just do rough storyboards, that would make
that'd
you
be the
happy.
best.
If you had a professional cleanup person to just come up and do all the stuff after.
Yeah, what I would describe as the heart of art.
That's funny.
Yeah,
because I think what Jeff likes to do is the hard part. Because that's where you literally have nothing. And then the part that Jeff doesn't like so much, that's the part where you can like put a movie on in the background and just like
right.
It's like, all right, now I'm just making sure the perspective's correct. Yeah. Draw people, like all that kind of stuff.
The layout process is always fun. Figuring everything out, placing everything, and then you go, oh, that's cool, and then you start drawing. Like, why did I pick such a hard angle?
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it!
I don't know how this. I don't really know how this muscle works.
I was like, oh damn it! It's like, but it looked cool. I was like, in my layouts, it looked cool. And
I'm a much better pitch guy.
Yeah. Like one of the things I love, because I'm a very loose penciler. Because I hate drawing tight pencils and then going over it again with ink, because it feels like I'm just doing it twice.
Right.
So I like each part of the process to have its own energy, its own feel. And so so like I kind of go, okay, here's the layout, here's the rough pencils, and then the inks. Like the more it kind of comes together as you go the ink and stuff. And you kind of go, yeah, this feels invigorating because I'm not just redoing the same thing over and over again.
No, I think our friend Dan or Eric Canetti, I think, are two guys that they work that way more, where their roughs are still pretty rough, and they're essentially, Dan and Eric, I would say, they really draw with an ink brush.
Yeah, they finish their drawings.
You know, they're not. And I figured out exactly what you're talking about, Nicole, where I realized that working traditionally, my pencils are like inks. So then it's like, then I hate to ink because it's like, then I'm just tracing over what I already did.
I guess with the animation style, you do kind of have a cleaner line in your pencil work, and then I guess you have the cleanup crew to do the lines and stuff. But when you have to do it yourself, you're like, I'm really drawing this.
Yeah, I've drawn this a million times already. Yeah,
that's why I kind of like now working digitally more, because I feel like I can have, my first pass, like the equivalent of the pencil, I can have it be a little bit looser, but then it's also pretty much done, and I don't need to do that third. That's that. And online, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that dead perfect trace over line. The first pass that I did can just be enough, and it has kind of a cool energy to it.
Digital does. I kind of went full digital for most of my work. Really, I would say 80% of my work is digital, just because of the nature of the work. Deadlines and then when you have to, when you get asked to do changes, it's like, oh, that's right. I'll just kind of just add this in the background, and rather than go redrawing the whole thing.
I feel like I can experiment digitally so much more too. Like, as my style has become more my own in the past 5 years, and me really starting to try to push proportion and shape and into areas that are a little bit more out there. Like, I feel like that process is so much easier digitally because it's just a layer. I'm like, oh well, what if it's this? What if I just make it a really giant, big, thick brush, and I create this really wild, interesting shape, and then now on another layer, I'll just start cleaning that up. Whereas on paper, I find it harder to take those big first kind of risks. If that makes sense.
I think that's one of the reasons that kids today. I mean, I say it because I'm an old man, but the kids today,
with their loud hippity hop and their rock music,
are so much better than I was at their age. Is because the nature of their tool allows them to experiment and try more.
Yeah,
with lower risk,
or just
with higher reward.
Just they have more volume.
Right. Oh yeah, that's true too.
That's why it sucks that you guys aren't able to do ChromaCon, because there's some amazing artists out there.
Well, tell me about what is it? Is it artists from all over the?
It's all over New Zealand, in all manner of genres and fields. There's comic artists, there's game designers, animation, animators, children's book illustrators, advertising.
Cool.
So it's essentially just an illustration, local illustration festival.
And are people buying sketches and art, and it's
pretty much people. It's a free event, so all you need to do is bring money to support artists and artwork that you love. When you go there, and it's just kind of cool to catch up with everyone as well, because a lot of times this is the place where it's like, oh, it's about time we caught up.
It's funny how close you can be to other artists and never see them.
Yeah, it's always interesting. What did Zakora say? So, Zakora says, I can't speak for animation, but in the con and the cosplay, you'll know when you did something wrong because it will fall apart after 4 hours wearing it.
Right. Well, that's the mechanical truth of it, right?
And then you can start all over again. Zakora also says it's so satisfying to watch us draw. Thank you very much for joining us, though. It's been fun. It's kind of,
I love this part.
Yeah.
Me and Jeff have literally been doing this since we were 15. Like, we met in art class in high school.
Yeah.
and then because drawing is like the most fun thing ever, but it can be a little bit lonely too.
Oh yes, exactly.
You know?
That's why like ChromaCon I love in the catching up with people because
Yeah.
we all understand that art can be a very lonely pursuit,
Mm-hmm.
and so like events like that, conventions, you get to actually hang out with
Yeah,
other artists, and we all understand the feeling. And it's just like, it's cool to just see you out of the house. And, let's catch up for some beers or something and strip club or karaoke or something.
Well, that's one of the reasons that we started Drink and Draw is that we were all friends and we saw each other at shows.
Yeah.
And even though we lived in the same town, we never actually saw each other.
Right.
It's interesting. But yeah, there's that camaraderie when it comes to like conventions and the like.
Well, yeah, and that we figured out when we started drawing that comic together in high school, like, oh, well, now we get to hang out next to each other all day while we're creating this thing, and we can just bullshit and talk about John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yeah.
And
It's we got to work on a Scooby-Doo thing a couple years ago, and he did character designs and I was doing storyboards, and we sat next to it. It was just great.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun. It was a really fun, 4 or 5 months?
yeah, I mean, it worked out really great that because Jeff and I did our first professional work together in high school, and then when we broke into comics, we shared a comic book studio together for a couple of years, and then when I moved down to LA and got a job in animation, and we weren't working together, but then on Jeff's first animation job ever, he got a job on the show I was already on.
Yeah, I was
he
doing
literally-
backgrounds and you were doing characters, right?
Yeah, on Justice League Unlimited, and Jeff literally sat right next to me in the cube next to me. He actually took Dave Johnson's old cube.
Yeah.
He replaced Dave on that show, and so on his very first animation job, we got to sit next to each other after having, and then on our very last on his last animation job in-house in LA before he moved up to Oregon was that Scooby job. So we got to sit next to each other at the beginning and at the end of Jeff's in-house career.
Yeah.
I'm still slugging away in-house while Jeff lives it up in Oregon.
Yeah. Freelance.
Laura, comic book gal NZ, asked if there's any new Scooby-Doo being released. Her mum is a huge Scooby-Doo fan.
They're always doing something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Guess Who Scooby-Doo series that's being done on one of the new streaming things that Warner Brothers is doing. I guess it wouldn't be DC Universe, but it's something.
Can you talk about that one?
I think they have. Yes, thank you for yeah. They have publicly released that Guess Who Scooby-Doo is coming out, and it's coming out on one of their streaming services. So it's in more of the classic style, say, unlike the Be Cool Scooby.
Yeah.
And it's a series, and there's a good amount of episodes, and it's more of the old classic like. It's called Scooby-Doo and Guess Who because there's guest stars.
Yeah.
I don't think I can probably give away any of the names of the guest stars.
Oh,
that's cool.
Trouble,
Yeah.
And then they WB usually does a fair amount of like direct-to videos, that they release digitally.
Yeah.
Like the
WWE one and stuff.
Yeah, and I worked on one of those last year.
You worked on both of the wrestling ones, right?
Yeah, I did actually. I worked on WrestleMania 1 so. Yeah, in answer to your question, yes. I don't think there's anything that's going to stop the Scooby-Doo train anytime soon.
Be right back.
At Warner Brothers.
So the bathroom's just yep, to the right. Cool. Zakora again. She loves conventions because you can meet and greet people. It's her first time at Comic Con as a guest. Oh wow!
Holy cow.
And she got to eat lunch with Robert Englund. Oh, that's awesome!
Wow.
Good old Freddy Krueger. Yeah. I remember meeting Robert Englund at
Armageddon?
Oz Comic Con in Melbourne. And what was funny, I was wearing a Samurai Jack t-shirt. And I'm chatting with the other Aussie artists and stuff. And Robert Englund comes over and goes, "I love your t-shirt. Hi, I'm Robert." I'm like, oh my god. He introduced himself to me because I'm wearing a Samurai Jack t-shirt.
That's awesome.
And then we started talking about Samurai Jack. I was like, oh my god, this is the best.
That is super cool. Who knew that Robert Englund was an animation geek too?
Oh, I'm looking forward to Gendy's new one. The caveman one? What's it called?
I don't know. I can't wait.
Did you see the trailer? Oh, it's crazy.
It's a new series?
It's a new series. It looks like it's like a caveman and dinosaurs and prehistoric times.
That's awesome. Anything that guy does.
Yeah, because that last season of Samurai Jack, there was so many amazing shots.
Well, and all the Hotel Transylvania stuff is so good too.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that little?
Just because there's Miles is like you got the red. But you saw Gendy's the trailer for Gendy's new.
Oh yeah.
So, what's it called?
I can't remember the
It
name.
starts with CA, but all I remember is Caveman, and I was like, no, it's called something else. But I'm looking forward to that because his style and his direction and stuff.
His stuff is brilliant.
Yeah, because I loved that last season of
Samurai
Jack as bittersweet an ending as it was.
I still haven't seen it.
So yeah, it's.
You see
what my favorite episode is when they're in the snow, and there's these pretty much it's like white.
Can I have one of the red ones?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's they're fighting in the snow, but like it's so minimalist, and you get just enough information to know what's happening. You know, I'm like sitting there going, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
He's such a great storyteller.
Yeah,
He's amazing. Those Star Wars Clone Wars are the best.
Yeah,
like the ones he did.
Thunder Punch. Hey, how's it going, bro? It's going well. Thunder Punch is another illustrator who's in Tauranga, I believe. So Thunder Punch, if you are in Tauranga, Jeff will be there for Armageddon next weekend. So swing by, show him your work. He's an okay guy. He's American, so
don't hold it against him.
Definitely hold that against him. But yeah, we're just chilling and chatting and drawing and putting to bed that myth that men can't multitask. Because we're drinking, drawing, and talking at the same time. So
right.
Some of us better than others.
Yep.
It does take practice.
Yeah. Especially when you do a lot of cons, because a lot of times you'll be drawing and then you're talking to people like, oh yeah, blah blah.
So I was just at a show in
Detroit,
and I was sitting next to Alan Davis.
Oh, nice.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I watched him draw a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, so smooth and just confident.
Is he American or is he English?
English.
He's I was like, I'm sure he's English because I look at his stuff and go, that's not American. That looks very 2000 AD, like some of the
super 2000.
Yeah, that's where he started.
Yeah. But he, so normally if I'm in a show, I'm doing a sketch, I will stop doing the sketch to sign comics.
Yeah.
He won't. He'll finish the sketch and then sign comics, and so his lines are really sometimes they're fast, sometimes they're super slow.
Oh.
And I just thought like that's balls right there. Just I'm drawing right now.
Yeah. Right. I'm not taking a break
doing
from
this thing. I always love that.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's it. So what? Thunder Punch. Sakura said that she's a Freddy cosplayer, so to be able to have lunch with Robert Englund was pretty cool.
Oh wow!
At the convention, but Thunder Punch says, he should be at Tauranga Armageddon, and he'll try and bring your portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I totally just didn't ask Jeff if he was checking out portfolios, but
absolutely.
He will now.
Yeah.
Jeff knows a thing or two about drawing.
Yeah, I'm happy to take a look at anyone's drawing.
Yeah. Thunder Punch says it's dope hearing us talk about our stories, cons and stuff. Like Stephen and Jeff, like their experiences are way beyond mine. I know I've had interesting experiences, but these guys have been working in the industry, animation industry, and comics as well for so long,
since the 90s.
Yeah, so so they have a plethora of amazing stories to share, and I'm kind of glad that we get to talk about some of those.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a new guy in comics now, but having in the 90s, it was a really good time for comics. It was a lot of fun. It was a gentler time in comics, right? The movies hadn't really broken out yet, so comics was still mostly just comics. And when we went to a show, it was mostly still about comics. And I went to a ton of shows, and they were always fun. It was just always fun.
The first 15 years of us going to San Diego Comic-Con, you could just show up at the door with your portfolio or your badge that said you worked at whatever company you worked at and just pay $20 and get in. There was no, it didn't sell out. You didn't have to worry about.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy.
Yeah, I think 2011, maybe 2012 was like the last time the big companies did portfolio reviews.
Yeah.
And what was crazy is that when I went to my first San Diego Comic Con in 2011, did I ever tell you this story?
I don't know.
You might have.
Where I put my portfolio into the cubbyhole at DC booth. Because I was like, I flew 14 hours to get here, like, why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, why not give it a shot? And I got a call back. I think his name's Larry Berry. He was one of the editors. I think he did the digital side or marketing. He saw some promise in my work, and so I got a call back. And at that point in time, it was my first overseas con. It was kind of crazy to have that, and it was the affirmation I kind of needed at that point to let me know I could do this stuff.
A little bit of encouragement goes a long way when you're first breaking in. I know that I don't know how anyone does it nowadays, because when I was going to shows in the late 80s and the early 90s trying to break in, you could just walk up to an editor and ask if you could show them your work. And that's why that's part of the reasons they were there, is to look for talent.
Yeah.
And had I not met Fabian early on, who was in marketing at the time, before he became an editor.
How do you pronounce that last name?
Nicieza.
Oh, so I did pronounce it right. Okay, cool.
Or I mean, he would probably tell us we're not saying it.
Because I was just like, I always looked at him and was like, I would say it's Nicieza, but I didn't.
For a long time, I called him Nice and Easy, which is not true.
Yeah,
but
he's not nice and easy.
he's
nice, but he ain't easy.
So I have no idea how it was so easy for me in a certain aspect, just to walk up and just put your portfolio down, and they were happy to look at it. Now that's not the thing at all.
Yeah, it's weird because like now with the advent of the internet and stuff, now there's a whole bunch of noise. There's so many people. There's so much artwork being shared that you kind of have to find that point of difference, and that's kind of what I try and accomplish whenever I go overseas.
Right.
You know, with my business card and stuff. Like people are just like, oh my god, this is a great idea. You know, I'm trying to, and I use my New Zealander status as a point of difference as well.
Sure.
You know? I'm a brown guy who talks funny, and so a lot of times people remember me that way. And like through that's how I've become friends with like Sanford Green, John Boy Myers.
We just had Sanford on our show.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
he's so awesome.
Sanford's
he's so good,
and it's cool too because like as a Samoan comic book artist, because there's not many Polynesians doing it. There's like Steve Lealoha, and Inca and stuff, but there's not many Polynesians really doing this work. I've kind of gravitated towards African American artists, and so like Sanford was one of the first guys because I've always loved his artwork.
It's gorgeous.
And then he ended up being the nicest guy. Then he's from North Carolina, so he loves wrestling.
Oh yeah,
he's a big Ric Flair fan because of North Carolina, and so we hit it off. And he loved my artwork as well, which was the icing on the cake to have one of your favorite creators like actually. Like your work and so whenever I go over I catch up with those guys. I catch up with Ed McGuinness as well, who's a huge wrestling fan as well, one of my favorite artists. And for me, like especially being from New Zealand, like those kind of interactions mean the world to me because these are rare interactions,
right?
And to have those end up in friendships is even cooler. So yeah, because like I always had the mindset where being from New Zealand, being brown, being Samoan as well, these artists go to so many cons over the years. They meet thousands and thousands of Americans, right? So I would probably stick out because I was a dude from New Zealand,
right?
You know, and so
there's only 4.5 million.
Yeah, you know, and so I totally used that to my advantage.
But you also draw like a superstar. Right, like that's amazing. You just whip that out. Nice brushwork.
Thank you. It was like it's a little too toothy for my liking.
No,
but then I was just like, I'm just gonna roll with it. And
that's one of the things I like about actually drawing like live on paper is like the material itself
informs some of the decisions you make.
It has a bit of it has character.
So yeah, let's see. What's Oh, cool. Thunder Punch was saying he was talking to his partner about possibly getting a booth at Armageddon. I'm not too sure if there's any left, but definitely something to look at in the future. exhibiting at events. Like Armageddon can be a little pricey, but stuff like ChromaCon, which is this weekend, the booth only costs $200, which is real easy. I was like, oh man, I can make that easy as. So it's kind of, and that's for its pool table,
Right.
and it's like 150 or something for like a half. So people share costs as well. But with like all the kind of work I do, I'm like I kind of need two tables, but
Yeah, you have a huge variety and wide breadth of things, right? Like
Yeah,
the comic, the storyboards, also the wrestling, all that.
yeah,
Video game.
And you're a Tekken champion, right?
yeah. Video
Was
games.
it Tekken?
Yeah, Tekken. Yeah, that's my thing. That's
Well, you
also-
schooled us at Street Fighter the last time we were here,
Quite handily.
which I'm sure wasn't hard.
Yeah, and I don't even play Street Fighter.
Yeah. No.
But
Just rub it in.
Yeah, thanks.
yeah, it's crazy because like I always tell, like especially like today when I was at Southern Cross campus,
Uh-huh.
I was telling the kids like comic books, wrestling, and video games. The stuff I did as a kid, I get paid to do as an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, and it's not like you can only do one dream.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you,
No, it's true.
You can do as many as you can come up with if you can make the time for it.
Right.
And I must admit, there are times where I struggle.
Yeah.
You know, there's a big juggling act. It's not a balancing act because I don't actually have any routine. I just kind of go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that,
Right.
I'm going to do that, and then it's just juggling. But you know, if it's the stuff you love to do, you know, there's always a way to make it work.
Well, yeah. Well, following like when you're growing up and you want to be a comic book artist, you want to be an artist of any kind. There's always
Yep.
someone who will naysay.
Yeah.
But then, but why? I always thought, like, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to just not try anything?
Yeah.
Like, it's not any easier to have a regular job during the day. Like, that's not a. That's
And there might have been a time. There might have been a time where, like, you know, getting a safe, solid, easy day job was something that you could do, and then just sort of live an easy, comfortable life or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like that ship has sailed 20 or 30 years ago too,
Right.
at least in the States, where it's like. So you might be fighting and competing just as hard for a job you don't even like that much. So
Yeah.
if you're going to be competing like hell for a job, you may as well do it for one that you're extremely passionate about and you care about, rather than one that you just think might be offer you more security.
Yeah, I always felt like if there's something you really love to do, you owe it to yourself to give it your best shot.
yeah.
And part of that risk is failure.
Sure.
You know, it may not work out, but at least you gave it a shot. You know, I find often people kind of too afraid to put themselves out there, because like when people ask me how am I able to do all this stuff, I'm like, I just went out there and did it.
Well, also,
And it's
you bring up being, brown and working in these jobs. I mean, in comics and in animation, I've experienced so much diversity, and I also feel like the great thing about art is it's such a level playing field in a way, because
Yeah.
your art sort of shows up first without anyone necessarily knowing who you are, and especially depending on, it's like, so someone is going to first and foremost just react to your art,
Yeah.
and so it really gives people that might be in an underrepresented community a chance to, like, if their work is good enough, their work is good enough, and they're probably going to be getting hired just off of the work,
Yeah.
not from how they did in the interview or what the prejudices of the person that they might be interviewing with or not.
I'm going to bust out Lake Topo.
like Topo. Yep.
Tupwa.
Which one? What's that one called?
This one is Lake Man.
Lakeman. Let's go. This is what Jeff is about to try. Lakeman Topo Thunder. Yeah.
Excellent.
You're only supposed to drink it in a seaplane flying over.
Yeah, we did. Last time we were here, we went to Lake Town and we took a seaplane and we flew around. It was
Yeah.
really awesome.
We had a Kiwi pilot named Dalton,
Yeah.
who we pretty sure was also maybe a member of the Kiwi equivalent of the SAS.
Oh,
Or some sort
Oh,
of
was he
spy,
not?
or some sort of spy during the week, and he just flew seaplanes on the weekends for fun.
He was super cool, and flying a seaplane seemed to me like the most badass job you could ever have. Like, what do you do? Oh, I fly seaplanes.
what's that? Raven Boy. Oh, raiding with a party of 14. Thank you, Raven Boy, for the raid. Yeah.
Oh, that's delicious.
Oh, yeah, what's it taste like?
Lake water.
Yeah, so it's not actually beer, it's just lake water.
Yeah.
Like that's the color of.
It tastes like adventure.
Yeah. It's not actually from Taupo, it's from Waikato River, because Waikato is exactly the same color.
It's less good. It's less good now.
Yeah, yeah. But that first taste
was great. Yeah.
Cool. Was it? This the famous wrestler who mains wrestlers? Are you talking about me and my Tekken playing? Yes, I'm not famous. I'm just a dude that draws comics, beats people up in the mask, and beats people up in video games. So yeah.
Yeah, we saw you wrestle the last time we were here.
We
It was
saw
amazing.
him hurl his friend out of the ring and give him a serious bashing on the concrete.
Cracked his head open. Yeah, but those are the.
So I remember I'd watched some of the videos. You'd show me some of the videos of you wrestling.
Yep.
And we were like in the 4th or 5th row, and then I saw you start to do some of the moves I recognized, and I started backing Steve up.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What's going on?
I'm like, oh, we need to be out of this. We're right in the path of what's about to happen. And then
you aimed it at us on purpose.
And you came flying over the ropes with your friend into the chairs.
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
Yep. No, that's
It's very impressive.
Thank you.
And terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I'm a totally different character when I'm in the mask and I'm in that zone.
Your voice is great too.
Yeah, it's gruff and try to make it scary.
You could submit. Do it.
So you play a great heel. Do you like playing a heel or do you like playing the face? Which do you like more?
A heel's the best. Like having like hundreds of people hate you.
Oh, is
like,
that good?
It's the best feeling ever.
So Dr. Doom is actually having a good time.
Yeah, wait, Doctor Doom's one of my favorites too. So, so it's cool because as a comic book fan.
Can I borrow this one?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that one's a little.
I'm just gonna do some.
Yeah.
I'm just noodling now.
Yeah, you're just overdrawing.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, like I always take elements of some of my favorite comic book characters.
And Dr. Doom is in there?
Yeah, there's elements of that, like the pompousness and and whatnot. You can take bits and pieces from all these kind of characters you love to read or watch and stuff, and incorporate them into your art. Very much like drawing,
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh yeah, there's that cool design element in that costume. Oh, maybe I'll add that to this character here and there. So yeah, it's like it's very symbiotic. Like just.
For some reason, you said that reminds me of when we used to have a comic book studio. Jeff got a Polaroid, and for a long time, like if he was stuck
before digital cameras, I had a Polaroid.
Yeah, on action poses or whatever, then we would always. Jeff has this great like photo album that we should really put together of just all of us in poses, like basically going like, just. Like I'm pretty sure I posed for a couple Bloodshot covers that I'm
absolutely
pretty proud of.
It's in the book actually.
And then Jeff did this great comic that Dan inked called, and I guess I helped with the pencils a little bit, the finished pencils called Blood Wolf versus Supreme.
Oh, you see, I was about to say when you said Bloodwork, I was like Wildstorm image stuff, and then Blood Wolf, and Supreme.
And pretty much, me and Jeff's. Dan and Scott are probably our two. Scott Collins, the comic book artist, our two other best friends. And Scott basically posed for all the Blood Wolf shots, and I posed for all the Supreme shots.
So I have dozens of Polaroids of them arguing and fighting each other.
And I loved being Supreme because he was so haughty. There's just all these poses of me just going like. Yeah. Just looking at Scott as if I just thought he was scum, and then Scott super got into he was he was almost like Bugs Bunny for Blood Wolf.
Well, I mean, it's still like I don't use as much reference now because I don't have a studio, but whenever I can, models. I'll take a reference shot of something just to give you that little extra bit of realism, but also you're always trying to get better at drawing.
Yeah. I mean,
observation is key. It was one of the things I tried to tell the kids today. Was how observation is key, and I drew a couple of the kids too, because I had them drawing each other.
Totally.
I was like, oh yeah, pull a funny face, and then have your friend try and draw that like you kind of facial expressions,
Oh,
emotion
that's
and
a really
stuff.
good idea.
And then the teacher's like, "Oh, why didn't you draw a couple of the kids?" Like, okay, cool. So I did, and all the kids were like, "Wow!" It's like, yeah, observation is key. And it's
Yeah.
like, one of the cool things about being an artist is that you can stalk people, but they won't arrest you because you'll be like, "I'm an artist. I have a pencil and a paper."
Just FYI, don't stalk people.
Yeah, you don't stop people.
If you do, use a pencil and a paper, and you'll be all good.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
One's a crime.
One is an
art.
artist.
Yeah.
But it was funny when I was in New York a couple of years back. I was on the subway and I had my little travel sketchbook, and I was like, "Oh, I really want to draw people," but I was like, "But I'm also in New York."
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It's like, yeah, I was like, so what I ended up doing was I ended up drawing people's shoes. So I'm like, no. And they start looking at the shoes and start drawing people's shoes. And
That's smart.
shoes one of those things that you draw sometimes, but you don't draw often.
That is fascinating. I'm going to totally steal that.
Yeah, so I didn't have those awkward glances.
And they're
like,
great character choices,
Yeah.
right? Like, what kind of shoes?
Yeah, I'm like,
That
ooh.
could be just a great sketchbook series that you sold.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like 100 people's shoes. Like, because how often have you ever seen anyone draw
Yeah,
that?
there'll be moments where like, ooh, those toes, and then you like draw those toes.
Sexy.
Yeah, so stuff like that. So like, I had a lot of fun doing that, but I knew I was like, wait, I'm in New York. I don't want to get shot, and I don't
Right.
want to get stabbed.
Yeah.
How can I draw people without? And then and then because it's subway, so it's cramped sometimes. There'll be some people like kind of like looking over,
Yeah.
going, "Oh wow, are you drawing that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh yeah," and they kind of. So that was kind of some of the things I did to pass the time on the New York subway.
Smart.
Well, as soon as you open your mouth in America, people are going to be interested because they'll be like, "Oh,
That's funny because
you don't talk like us.
Yeah.
Tell us more."
and it's quite funny too because I love as artists we're always observing and we're always looking at stuff, right? So like walking around New York, I was admiring all the architecture and stuff.
So
and
great.
like one block will be one thing and then another block will be another. I'm like, oh my god, I was seeing all these photos, but those me like New Zealand style, just dawdling down the street.
I do the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like there's so many people just rushing past me trying to get somewhere.
So
And I'm
fast.
just like, man,
They miss.
yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe they're used to it.
Yeah, but also no one was gonna say anything to me because I'm a big Samoan dude,
Right. Right.
and so I was like,
No one says anyone to anyone anyway.
yeah. I was just like, no one's had any issue with me getting in their way. Is it because of the way I look? And if so, then I'm happy for that. But yeah, no, I did enjoy New York. It was interesting. I found that, I found that like especially around Times Square, I found it like Vegas.
Yeah.
Where it was very artificial.
Yeah.
Well, especially now.
It didn't
Yeah.
used to be like that.
It
But
used to be quite a dangerous place to go.
But
it used to be where all the porn theaters were.
Yeah, and all the drug dealers used to be hanging out down there.
yeah, and but I enjoyed my time there. And yeah, Central Park was so huge. I liked Central Park because it was like in the city of like megalithic structures. There was grass.
Yeah.
And coming from New Zealand, you're like grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yay! It's like
you
this
guys-
is a real place.
Yeah, you have a green here that is pretty. You just don't get in a lot of other places.
Yeah. Like as I said, like the closest I kind of got to seeing something like home was Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like flying in, I was like, oh, trees,
Yeah.
green.
Well, that's one of the reasons I moved to Oregon.
It's like, oh my god, this is like home.
As much as LA is fun, it's very brown
Yeah.
and
oh yeah,
dry.
But yeah, let's see what's these
So it has
guys
a lot of
all
nice-
looks sick as. Thank you very much, Raven Boy. Yeah, thank you for those who've joined us while we talk shit and draw. Hopefully you've been entertained. I've certainly been entertained.
I'm glad that you were able to set this up until we could hang out.
Yeah, it was a good excuse to just hang out and draw with some buddies while they're here visiting on a very short excursion.
I think 10 days.
Yeah,
We packed a lot in, so I've got the two shows, the two Armageddons,
yeah,
which I'm really thankful that Bill was able to, at the last minute, sort of figure out a way that I could participate. And then the conversation tomorrow at the
school.
animation
Yep.
school.
Yep.
And then
And you might go by. I got to take a little tour of the Auckland school
Yep.
yesterday, and then I think you're probably get to go there sometime next week too.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Gene,
So,
those guys are really
how long are
nice.
you in Christchurch for?
From Saturday until Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. If you staying in the hotel there? Has Bill sorted you out with a hotel?
I assume so.
If it's the hotel I know, it's not far from the best fucking playground in New Zealand.
Playground.
There's
All right.
Yep, Margaret Mayhew Playground is the best playground in New Zealand.
What makes it such a good playground?
Uh,
And then we're not going to get people won't be freaked out by adults playing at the playground.
Oh no, no.
Is that
Every time I'm in Christchurch, I'm there around midnight with a whole bunch of wrestlers doing stupid wrestling things at the playground.
Nice.
There's other adults there, and whatnot. But it's literally like 2 minutes walk from the hotel.
Okay.
Awesome.
perfect.
We'll definitely
But like
check it
even
out.
if you don't play it, like just to see it, it's actually a really great structure, especially as part of the rebuild for Christchurch after
Okay.
the earthquakes.
Okay.
So it's one of those like really happy spots in the middle of this ravaged city.
Okay.
So I always make a note to head up the playground whenever I'm in Christchurch.
Done.
So
You
yeah,
tell me twice.
they have flying foxes. They have
What's a flying fox?
It's like a zip
Oh,
line.
you gotta be
It's their
What?
word. It's their word for a zip line.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And you can just go in the middle of the night, do
Okay.
Maybe
oh,
not-
the weather sucks. Because if the weather was better, I would totally take you to a playground right now and jump on flying. So a flying fox here is like a zip line on a playground.
this country is so much more civilized.
I know.
Several years ago,
Start vaping.
Yeah.
several years ago, I actually travelled to pretty much 80% of the flying foxes in Auckland
Okay.
and playgrounds, and I actually ranked them. And people are like,
Is
"Oh my
this
god!"
information available online anywhere?
It's probably outdated because
Okay.
it was like 2007, 2008.
So they really updated their flying foxes.
They updated them for the worst.
Right.
They've
They got
made them
rid of them,
safer,
right.
so they're
Oh.
not as fast. They're not as dangerous. And so like I judged, I ranked the flying foxes based on length, height, slack, speed, smoothness,
Wow.
and the kickback at the end.
Oh, the
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah, the snap.
Oh,
And people are just like, oh my god. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what
that's
I
some
did.
serious business.
That's what I did. That's what I did on Saturday nights instead of going out to the clubs and drinking.
Oh.
I was like, I'm going to the playground to find this flying fox and test it. So
That's
people were just like, oh my
outrageous.
You're my
god.
role model.
That's so
awesome.
cool.
So yeah, this is just one of those things that
Have you ever bungee jumped?
I haven't actually.
Because there's
No.
some snapback at the end.
It's
Some
been-
kickback.
Yeah, I have a friend who works at the AJ Hackett Bungee in Queenstown.
Okay.
And I know he could hook that up if I wanted to. But I'm also Samoan, and bungee jumps are very expensive. So it's just
Especially
like,
safe ones.
yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I could just kind of get something similar by just
Yeah.
going down the road to the playground and jumping on the flying fox.
Oh no, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. So if the weather's fine and stuff, Christchurch. You been to Christchurch?
No.
No. Christchurch, like it's a great city. Very flat.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people biking around.
Excellent.
But like the CBD, like they've been rebuilding it for a while, but there's still the cathedral, which is like in rubble
Okay.
and stuff. There's still a lot of bits and pieces that condemned and
Okay.
whatnot. But it really, last time I was there, it did feel like
How big is the show?
the show's very small.
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Will I get to hang out and talk to people and chill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's very low key compared to Auckland. Auckland's like
That was a
big
really
show.
fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, but it was huge.
Yeah, so Auckland's the big one. Christchurch and Tauranga are kind of the
How do you say
small
it? Tauranga?
Tauranga.
Tauranga?
Yeah, Tauranga.
I'm not going to be able to.
But yeah, Tauranga.
Tauranga.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Tauranga. So it's kind of like you're saying toe runner, but you're kind of rolling the N like in
Tauranga.
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So I guess you put the G where the N is as well. So it's like Tauranga,
Tauranga.
Ranga.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to. I'm going to fail every time.
But that's at least you're trying. Like most people.
I understand that I'm
Yeah.
failing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the what would it would be the soft A sound. The
Okay.
R is kind of all you're really missing
Okay.
is Turanga.
Turanga.
Yep.
See,
I'm
Steve
still
has a
putting
better
too
ear
much
for
G
it.
on the G though, right?
Oh no, it's still good though. Yeah, the sketchbook is looking awesome. Thanks, thanks, Laura. But yeah, no, it's Tauranga is a cool city as well.
Cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, there's if you're able to definitely walk up Mount Manganui,
Okay.
which is not far from the venue.
Cool.
I'm not sure where your hotel is if you're staying in a hotel for Armageddon. But yeah, Mount Manganui is a cool beach. It's got the mountain,
All right.
of course, that you can walk up. There's like the short way, which is the harder way. There's then the longer around.
I'll probably
mountain way.
take the short scoop the hard way.
Yeah. So yeah,
Just a glutton for punishment.
Right. Also, I'm not great with direction.
Thunder Punch, who's from Tauranga, the artist I was telling you about, said that there's a lot of locals in Tauranga who don't pronounce it as good as you have.
Oh, that was very sweet.
Yeah, don't try and kiss up to him so he can give you a positive portfolio review for Thunder Punch. But
Very kind.
yeah, no, I enjoy Tauranga. Yeah, it just sucks that these dates clash with.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you have so many things going on.
Yeah.
The same thing. There's a lot of art happening in New Zealand.
Yeah, no, Tauranga has some cool street art.
Oh, cool.
There's some cool murals there. I think there's a gallery there that has some street art, I think.
I mean, that Miles is badass.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was trying not to let the team down. Essentially, I was just like,
Damn.
just try and draw something that isn't shit.
That's so cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love this dry brush stuff that you did in here. It's so cool.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, just kind of fill it in with it. It gives it a little, yeah, but
Cool. Nice jacket. What brush were you using?
Pentel pocket brush.
Oh yeah, I love these.
Yeah, so amazing,
Yeah.
and they're refillable.
Oh yeah, no, these are
yeah,
badass.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because like traditional brushes, because I don't have the patience for painting.
Oh,
Like I like
dipping.
yeah,
Yeah. No,
well, dipping.
come on.
So it's like a brush, but it's a pen.
And it's got good.
Yeah.
It's got good bounce to it.
It's
Yeah,
got-
it's a good
and
line.
then and the fact that it's refillable, I'm like, oh yes, no,
Yeah.
that's even better.
I still choke up when I use one of those, unless I'm doing like inking on a pencil, like
Yeah.
a pencil drawing. I'm doing a finish ink, like for sketching. I still find that I try too hard with it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just not comfortable
Yeah,
with it yet, so that's why I go to Sharpie or ballpoint pen.
it's funny because when I do the traditional stuff, because I'm using the brush, my stuff is so different from my digital. Because the digital, like I'm always like trying to do a clean line.
Yeah.
But like this is like I like the kind
I
of
like the rough feel of it.
yeah. I like the happy accidents.
Yeah, you should try a comic like this. I
um,
like how it looks.
Yeah,
I like
no.
your clean stuff too, but there is something kind of gritty.
It's got a very
Yeah.
Tony Salmon's feel to it.
Oh, okay. Who's I remember showing my portfolio to Colin Wilson, who does a lot of European comics. He did like some Rogue Trooper.
Oh,
He's a Kiwi, but he's been living in Melbourne for like 20, 30 years. But he's like a New Zealand comic legend, and he's an amazing artist. He did. He took over Blueberry after Mobius.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so Colin's like a
So he's
super-
no slouch.
yeah, so Colin's like a superstar over in Europe, and I remember showing him my portfolio, and I remember he said to me, he goes, "Oh, it's very Brian Stuffery's like." And I was like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, wait, you compare my stuff to Stuffery's?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god," like because I think
Good
there's
solid design. Good.
yeah, I think there was a couple of figures where I had like kind of sharp angular features. But Brian stuff,
Kind of like Jones's stuff.
yeah, a little, yeah. No, not as like I guess as cartoony in terms of proportions, but yeah. But there will be moments where I have like angular, like certain characters. I'm like, oh, I feel like they're more angular than just a normal human thing. And yeah, but like Starfreeze, man, his stuff is so
good.
He's a
amazing.
genius.
And yeah, and I remember someone else saying that I had elements of Stuart Immonen.
Oh yeah.
And so-
I can see that for
Love
sure.
Stuart.
And yeah, and Immonen again is one of those artists that I just like. Oh, I absolutely love his stuff.
His stuff is just
Um,
Stellar.
He's coming back. Eh? He's doing some.
He retired, but he's back.
But yeah, I saw. I think him and Catherine are doing something for the Marvel 1000.
Oh, good.
So yeah,
Excellent.
That's really good.
So I don't know if it's long term or if it's just for that. But I was just like, I saw Stuart. I'm in the bit. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna get this.
One of his first gigs was in a Wonder Man annual.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's right.
do you remember that? And it was very upsetting for me because it was ostensibly it was my book, but his work in the annual was way better than anything I had done on the book.
So good.
And I thought, like, oh man,
Yeah.
stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
My first solo work also in a Wonder Man annual.
Oh, nice. Good old
Yeah.
Simon Williams. Yeah. What is Wonder Man doing now in the Marvel universe?
I think he's
setting things on fire.
I think he's come back again. I think
Oh, okay, he is.
they've rebooted him. Well, I mean, he's the
Yeah.
eternal hero. He keeps coming back.
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, Simon Williams I haven't heard of in a long
There was
time.
all that talk about him maybe being in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but it all got
Oh, yeah, and then he ends up just being on the poster.
yeah. But
Oh,
that's even cut from the film, isn't it? Or is it? In
No,
the,
yeah, no, because there's a poster of Nathan Fillion as
Oh, is
Simon
it?
Williams.
Oh,
on-
yeah,
yeah, and so that's the only kind of mention of Simon Williams.
So hopefully he'll be in it because he would be great.
Nathan
Yeah.
Fillion would be great.
He would be perfect.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and I'm kind of hoping for some like Richard Rider, Nova.
Oh, Nova would be great.
Quasar, like Wendell Vaughn would be
Yeah,
cool.
I would love Quasar. Yeah.
Especially when they had like the Pegasus stuff and Captain Marvel.
I just watched it. Great
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
I was just like, "Ooh, Pegasus exists. Does that mean there's going to be?"
It'll be interesting to see what they do. You're much more up on what their plans are, what the possible
Well, no,
things are.
they've done a great job of keeping all this next phase under wraps. Like,
Yeah.
we don't really know. I mean,
Yeah, no, yeah. It's like everyone's like, "Oh, there's a Black Panther 2 and Doctor Strange," but then there's like Shang-Chi. They're talking about, and
They're doing Shang-Chi?
yeah, they've
Yeah.
they've.
Who are they going to get to be Shang-Chi? Do you know?
They haven't cast anyone yet, but I think they've got the writer from Crazy Rich Asians
Okay.
right.
doing the script
Great.
for that.
I hope the Kung Fu's good.
Yeah, like one person I'd like to see, Lost Tan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
I watched Into the Badlands.
God,
And
so good.
Tor Fraser, who's a New Zealand director, directed some episodes of
Oh, really?
Into the Badlands.
In the Badlands is
Uh,
great. The choreography is amazing.
I know. I kind of liked it, but kind of not.
You don't like the wiry stuff?
It was a little hammy, and I understand like
Right.
TV budget. You got to get this
Still,
stuff.
though, for
Yeah.
TV
Oh
budget,
yeah,
yeah.
it was amazing. Like they were doing the wire stuff in the TV production. I didn't really like the world.
Oh, you don't like the world?
I know it felt pretty ham-fisted. Like they're trying to do cool stuff, but like for me it felt empty.
I really like that they're making them almost the superpowers.
Yeah.
I do really like how they're getting.
I didn't mind that until like all of a sudden there's like a whole bunch of people saying, oh.
Yeah. Right.
And then it was like, oh, it's a prophecy and stuff, and then the way it ended,
Sure.
like, oh, it just meant nothing. But so it was that kind of stuff where like there was all these cool elements, but they were just cool elements. They didn't really have an actual thread. They just kind of threw stuff and were like, oh, this will be cool to put in there. And so for me, like it just felt a little empty. Like there was all this potential for amazing things, and it just felt empty. But the one TV series I've been watching that's fucking amazing is Warrior.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh man,
Is it good?
It's so good.
Is
Uh,
it fictional or is it?
It's based on the writings of Bruce Lee.
Oh, okay.
So kind of what he wanted from Kung Fu.
Gotcha.
You know,
Oh,
yeah.
right,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks,
so,
David Carradine. I
yeah.
was just telling her a David Carradine story about Kung Fu, about how remember the scene where he walked on the rice paper?
Yes.
As a kid, that
Yeah.
really affected me. I was always
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to walk around not leaving footprints. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
So-
not real. It's not even a real thing.
Yeah. So the writings of Bruce Lee that they stole to make Kung Fu
Right.
is kind of what they've used as the basis for Warrior.
Excellent.
Shannon Lee is one of the producers.
Okay.
It's written by the creator of and writer of Banshee.
Okay.
Oh.
And it's,
And the Kung Fu's good.
Kung Fu's really good.
Okay.
The fight scenes are really good.
Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee, does it do the early,
The
early Wing Chun
It's funny,
stuff?
a little, yeah. There's more Wing Chun stuff,
Okay.
no, and there are moments where Andrew Koji, who's British Asian, he's British Japanese,
Okay.
and I read an interview where he thought that he wasn't right for the role because he's Japanese, not Chinese. But he's really good, and there are moments where he has that Bruce Lee-esque kind of vibe, and they do throw in some of those Bruce Lee moves into the fight scenes. But after watching, having watched Warrior, and then watching Into the Badlands near the end, after I was like, oh, Into the Badlands, I just couldn't get into it because Warrior just totally ruined it.
Bruce Lee's so amazing, though.
Because Warrior is based late 1800s, early 1900s, San Francisco, around the Exclusion Act of the Chinese, and there's the Irish,
right.
And Chinatown stuff, the Tongs and whatnot, and the hatchets and stuff, and it's stylish. The story, I'm really getting into, and the action's amazing. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted from Into the Badlands kind of thing.
That's fantastic. But I think Into the Badlands was up against Iron Fist. Compared to Iron Fist, you're like, oh,
yeah.
Well, how come we couldn't have done something more like this?
Yeah, true. Yeah, Iron Fist was a bit of a letdown. Even Lewis Tan, in that first season, was one of the highlights. It's the Drunken Master.
Yeah.
Because I think there's something else, Wu Assassins, that I think that Lewis Tan is in. But he's definitely one of the guys I would like to see as Shang-Chi.
Right.
And even some of the guys from Warrior as well, I could see being Shang-Chi. So it'll be interesting to see that. And then I think they're looking at Eternals as well.
Oh, wow.
And then I just saw that there's Ava DuVernay is doing New Gods for DC. So
on
movie?
TV?
No, movie.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm
the Orion Darkseid stuff. Is it going to?
Well, Tom King is writing it.
Right.
So it'll be okay. Interesting. They're actually getting a comic writer to write New Gods.
Fantastic.
So it's an interesting time.
Yeah.
But no, definitely check out Warrior, especially with your martial arts background.
Oh yeah, no.
I would like to see what you think of it. But I'm watching, going, oh, this is awesome.
No, I can't wait. I'll check it out. Yeah, my wife is she was not much of a. She does martial arts now. She does Krav Maga, and she's enjoying learning to be a badass, and she definitely kicks ass. But I remember one of the first. She'd heard of Bruce Lee, but she'd never seen any Bruce Lee, and so I showed her Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
And it's definitely it was the boards don't hit back scene, and she turns to me and goes like, "Oh."
Oh, they say that in Krav Maga.
No. But she'd seen Bruce Lee, and she goes like, "Oh, he's sexy." She goes, "I never understood that before." She goes, "He's so hot," and I went, "Yes."
Yeah.
But
he beats people up.
Look how awesome! Yeah. She's like, "Oh, I get it now. I get Bruce Lee."
That's a good one. When I was in Seattle, I made a point to go and visit him and Brandon Lee's grave at the cemetery.
I just watched The Crow again recently.
Yeah,
I really wish he hadn't. I mean, I watched. So funny. I went on a Brandon Lee kick.
Little Showdown in Tokyo. Yep.
Such a great. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
but it's great.
He's great.
Rapid Fire. It's great.
Have you seen John Wick 3 yet?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
No. Just
this is spoilers. But.
One of my favorite martial artists is Mark Dacascos.
Oh yeah.
And so he's in it. I'm like,
he's great.
Yes, Mark's in it.
He's in Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Yeah. Crying Freeman.
Crying Freeman is great. He's in a really fantastic kung fu movie. I can't remember the name of it.
I really love this character in John Wick 3 because I was like, yes, Mark Dacascos. I was like, yes, it's been so long, and a lot of people would know him from Iron Chef.
Oh,
and I'm just like,
Iron Chef. Oh,
yes,
right.
Yes, because he's the
he
host.
did a really great documentary on Musashi way back in the day.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, it's fantastic,
But it's just like, I've always been a fan of his, and I was like, people know him from Iron Chef, but they don't know how badass he is.
He's such a great
and
martial
so when
artist.
he showed up
He's been in so many kung fu movies.
Yeah, and he's been in like CSI and stuff as well. I think he played a monk in an episode of.
He's a
CSI.
genuine badass.
Yeah, but he's like a really cool dude as well. And was he born in Hawaii? Grew up in Hawaii as well?
I think so.
Yeah. But he's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, when I saw him in it, I'm like, oh, so good.
Yeah, when he's doing the sushi stuff, I'm like, Mark Dacascos, awesome. So John Wick 3, man, this is crazy. It's one of the things that I love about the John Wick films, especially I guess as artists, especially you doing the action scenes, is how clear and concise those scenes are shot.
Yeah. Well, because there's as you know, because you have to because you guys do spontaneous improvised choreography, but you also have to understand how it looks from all the different angles. Yeah. Right, so you definitely play to the various audience, the various. You have the shots in your mind, and John Wick nails it. Like they're really great about making sure that the silhouettes are always clear, that the editing is always precise. Because a lot of times
there's no shaky cam. I was like, you just see like it was one of those things where you get so used to
like the Jason Bourne films. Yeah. Choreography is amazing, and they worked really hard. You can't see shit.
So like sitting there, like you realize how great the editing and the shots are because you can tell what's going on. Yeah, you can see all the strikes and the kills and stuff. You're like, oh my god, it's so nice.
And the techniques are so precise. Like, that's that great. It's so good.
Yeah. So there's one of those things where you realize one of the reasons why it does so well is that they're great action films, but they're made really well. Like that's, as guys who love doing action scenes, it's very. You're just like, oh my god, this is how you do it, right? You know, and you try and live up to that when you do your action. You're like, okay, make sure this is nice and clear. Everyone knows what's happening.
Exactly.
But Mike DeCasca is one of those guys that never really broke out as a big martial arts star. But I was like,
but he's had he's been in
he's been in heaps. Yeah,
he's been in everything, and he's worked for since the 80s, right? Yeah. Like he's been in so much.
Since he was a kid, because like his parents.
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon was Scott Wolf and
that's right.
I think
he's awesome in that.
Yeah, I think Double Dragon was probably when I was young was like my first experience, and I remember going, he's cool, and then go to the video store and get all the Mike DeCasca movies.
Remember that movie he was in, Drive?
Oh,
Drive's great. Good, solid action movie.
The Mike DeCasca is the Brandon Lee.
I just realized now we're just talking about old kung fu movies.
Yes, but I think
but I've studied all. Like when I did.
So your martial arts experience. What are you trained in?
So I have black belt in Aikido. Right now I'm doing Kempo, but I've done all the classics. I like old school Okinawan karate, Taekwondo. Steve and I did Shito-ryu karate when we were in high school. A little Jeet Kune Do. Yeah. Right now we're doing it like I'm just now learning jiu-jitsu and I hurt my back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because ground stuff is hard.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff, but I've studied like all the kung fu film, like all the movies. Really, like when I did Way of the Rat, the kung fu comic I did for
for CrossGen.
It was I broke down, like I watched all the Venom films, the 5 Venoms. But I broke down the scenes and not just studied like, oh, these are cool moves, but like how are we showing this kind of move? Like how do you show the tight hand-to-hand stuff, and then how do you show like what's the best angle for the big finishing move? Yeah. So, but they're two totally separate skills. Like how to do the thing is one part of it, but then how to draw it is a totally different skill set. Because your action stuff is great too, right? Like when you draw the wrestling stuff, like it's clear to see what moves are being done, and the angles are great.
Like that's one of those things as well. Is like having experience in actually learning those holds and learning those moves. You understand where exactly the body part's going to be, right, and stuff. And so, okay, if that is the focus of the hold, you got to make sure that the crowd see that. And it's the same when drawing it. You got to make sure that the audience sees it, because people that are reading this comic may not know wrestling, but you need them to understand this is
this is why this is interesting.
This is the hold rather than this is just a thing that they're doing. And it's interesting. I think having those kind of experiences outside of comics or animation and stuff gives you a kind of a bit of understanding.
It adds a sense of believability to the when someone's reading it. Like it makes inherent sense since you understand it. It's clear.
And that's one of those things, like in the acting out, like physically feeling it. Gives you that insider's perspective rather than just going, oh, that's that thing I saw, that's really cool.
Well, that's one of the things that always upsets me when I see a kung fu. I mean, it's actually isn't so true anymore, because most people really either do martial arts themselves or there's so much reference available. But back in the day, you would see someone throw a kick and like the ankle would be all weird, and you're like, oh, that's gonna break.
Yeah.
So you would read like, oh, it just looks.
Yeah, because like before wrestling, I did some taekwondo, and one of the things that I'm known for in New Zealand wrestling is my strikes.
Yeah, we watched you beat the shit out of
And so people were just like, fuck, you always fuck people up. But like I don't.
But you have solid control.
Yeah. But like it looks bad, but it's all controlled. It's never reckless, and there's a lot of wrestlers who like to throw in strikes because that's the cool thing.
Right.
And I watch, I'm like, oh, you don't know shit about martial arts. And one of my favorite kicks is the turn kick. Right. The spinning back kick.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right.
That's a great kick.
And it's
so dramatic too.
Yeah. And it generates so much power, like done correct. Yeah. But so many wrestlers use it as just like this intermediary move, like before they hit.
It's a finish.
Yeah, and so a couple of times at training when I've got the rookies, I'm like, okay, we're doing some strikes, and go, oh, have you ever seen the spinning back kick? And they're like, oh yeah, it's that one that what the wrestlers do. And a lot of times the big mistake is they don't look where they're kicking. They just kind of turn, and then their leg just goes out there. And then I go, okay, grab the pad, and then okay, this is what you can do with that kick. And then bang, they're like, oh, it's like you can generate so much power, and it's so good, and it often surprises people that I do have some legit striking experience.
I'm not surprised,
but that's what makes my wrestling strikes look better, because I understand the mechanics of the real versions of these that I can pretty it up. I can.
So many of the wrestling moves I watch you do though, those are legit holds. Like those are like legit. Like you're just not choking.
Yeah. No,
right. You're being kind.
Yeah. They're sometimes when myself and Alfred Valentine, who's the other trainer of the rookies, if we're feeling particularly cruel,
you'll choke someone out.
We'll be like, okay, you guys know the sleeper. They're like, yep. Sit down. This is what it feels like to actually be put to sleep. Tap out once you feel yourself fading. Okay, then. And then a couple of seconds, it's like, so that's the shoot version. So you don't want to be in there. So that now that you know what it feels like, you understand when someone's got too tight and stuff. Right. But yeah, pretty much we try and address the wrestling holds. Some of them have a solid basis in shoot fighting. Yeah, like in terms of like actual martial arts. And so every now and then they'll be like, okay, this is what it feels like and looks like as an actual throw. Yeah. And they're like, oh shit. It's like, yeah. But we want to make it pretty. It's pantomime. Wrestling is pantomime. Right. So
but also the mat has some give.
Yeah,
if you throw a guy and he lands on the concrete, like one of the good things about John Wick is like when he throws a guy, like that guy's done. Like there's no way you can take a shoulder to the concrete like that and then get up. Yeah. It's brutal.
So that's kind of what we do with the wrestling. We do try and incorporate some of the real versions of these moves, just to let the rookies know that this is what the basis is, and this is how we pretty it up. Right. Make it flashy and over the top. But
Steve has a devastating. Like we used to spar and point spar, and we competed a lot when we were younger. The most devastating reverse punch. Like he's definitely one of those like.
It's more of a counter puncher.
Right? I always get impatient, and so I always come in.
That's me. I'm
right.
I rush down.
Yeah. So maybe we'll each die. Yeah. Like there was the samurai mutual death thing. That's definitely my jam. Jones is a patient fighter.
I can see that. I can see like you just like waiting for the open and just
but then once Jeff figured out that I had figured out that I could beat him with the counter punch, then like he just drilled because I think we were in a tournament together where I got first and he got third because I beat him on points with a counter punch, and so then he drilled like every day, and then for like 6 weeks later, then I could never beat him that way again. Then I had to learn I had to pick up new tricks.
Yeah. Well, that's the evolution of like that's the intellectual battle of martial arts. Sure.
Yeah, that's great up. Yeah, I guess it can be like that too with like some of the fighting games. Yeah, you got like one person's like, oh, they work around it, and then they have to figure out
right.
That's Dan. Dan's just a button masher where it's like he'll just overwhelm you with like. Yeah. He's just hitting so many buttons that you end up still getting beat, even though he's not really using any skill because he's just overwhelming you with violence.
I remember you were talking about it the last time we were here about how some moves take 14 frames, and some moves.
Oh, yeah, there's
That's so technical.
there are players who talk about frame data, like, and I don't care for that. I very much like my wrestling. I kind of feel the moment, and so like, people are like, oh, that's 10 frames. You should use that. I'm like, I don't know. It's like,
I just thought this move would be cool.
Yeah, that's exactly, and that's how I've made the name for myself
Right.
in fighting games, is by being that flashy kind of cool
Unexpected.
highlight reel guy where
Right.
everyone's like, oh, when he plays, there's gonna
Like
be something awesome.
when John Jones leaps off the
Yeah.
cage and
Yeah.
there's a spinning back. Oh god, I love that shit.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff, that over the top. It's the wrestler in me. Like, I
Right.
want to put on the show, and whenever I'm up there and people are watching, they know there's going to be some funny stuff going down, whether I win or lose.
Right.
But no, that's crazy. I think we should probably start wrapping it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching us.
Yeah, no, thank you guys.
Talk about kung fu movies.
Yeah, no, some drawing. I guess we should show
Sure.
the artwork. We'll just, there you go. So Miles Morales, that's who I decided to draw. Yeah,
Beautiful.
That's nice.
yeah, Jeff,
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Actually, see if I can. See, I can. And Steven is that Phoenix or Marvel Girl?
Yeah, it's Phoenix.
And so is it this one? Let's go. There you go, Marvel Girl, right there.
And I
Yeah.
drew some stuff in a sketchbook for the girl who works in your shop.
Oh, yeah, for Laura.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Little
Yeah.
sketchbook for her.
It's funny too because that Phoenix like looks like my mate Jason's girlfriend, Ashlyn Day. She's a cosplayer, and I think she's done the Phoenix.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I'm sure she's done that pose, the butt pose. But
It's a classic.
yeah, but yeah, no, it was cool. Like, just
Great times. Thanks for having us.
I'm glad we were able to make this work, and thank you for
Thanks, dude.
your
And thanks
time.
for the
Listen-
L&P, most importantly.
Yeah, no, feel free to grab another can as you leave. As you can see at the bottom, if you want to follow Jeff, it's at Johnsonverse on Twitter, Stephen B. Jones on Instagram. Again,
Jeff's Johnson verse on Instagram too.
but he doesn't use Instagram as much, right?
I'm not that good
Which is
about
a
it.
But
which is
we're
a
trying to get
travesty
him to-
for an
yeah,
artist.
I know. I need to do better.
We're trying to get him into
Yeah,
it.
I know.
So just go follow him so he'll have to
I know.
start paying attention.
yeah, but
You can link him too.
Yeah,
I'll be better. I promise.
But like this weekend, you both of them will be at Armageddon,
Yep.
I believe.
Christchurch.
see-
Christchurch Armageddon.
Christchurch Armageddon at the Horncastle Arena. Let's see, let me just move that up because that's being obscured. Yep, Armageddon this weekend, Horncastle Arena, Sunday and Monday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday, Monday.
If you're at the UB College of Animation in Christchurch,
That's
they'll be
Saturday night.
visiting. They'll
And
be
Jeff will be
visiting.
at Tauranga.
Yeah, and Jeff will also be at Tauranga. Yep.
Not bad. I'm not even gonna try.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Got really too much, but working on it.
So Stephen's the one that's trying to be a New Zealander because, like, if you can come into shot, he's wearing the Pounamu and the All Blacks jacket. So
Yes.
but he's still
John
American.
Comics all day, bro.
That's so they will be at Armageddon, Christchurch, Sunday, Monday. Jeff will still be here for Tauranga Armageddon. Myself, I will be at ChromaCon, which is at Altair Centre. Let me put that up. Altair Centre.
I'm so impressed. You just got it all squared away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be at ChromaCon as well as a whole bunch of other amazing New Zealand artists. Which is why we wanted to make this happen because we weren't going to hang out over the weekend. But other than that, you got the links to social media.
Yeah, check us out.
Again, it was fun drawing.
If I can just throw in, so this is Drink and Draw, but it's also we have a Drink and Draw on YouTube. It's a live stream we do every week.
Definitely check that out because it's amazing.
It's basically just same thing.
Yeah.
Bunch of artists sitting around bullshitting and drawing. It's Thursdays at 5:30 Pacific time, American Pacific time.
Yeah.
So that would be
About 12:30 here
on
on Friday.
Friday, the day after.
Yeah.
But it is also just on YouTube, Drink and Draw
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. I'll put the link.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Because we've had really great guests.
Honestly, yeah.
We had Sanford Green on.
Yeah.
We had Scotty Young on.
Yes.
We've had
Joe Quesada's on there
Joe
pretty
Cas-
regularly.
Joe Quesada comes
Yeah,
on all the time.
I think there was a couple of times he had him on, and then he just ended up being a regular.
Yeah, no, he's just
He's just hanging out.
he's just great. He just hangs out with us. It's fantastic.
So Joe Quesada, EIC, editor in chief. Is he still? Was he in Marvel?
Some sort of. He's
a muckety muck.
Yeah.
He's still a big shot.
Yeah, he's a big shot at Marvel, and he hangs out with these guys.
But he's awesome. Yeah, he's
Um,
great. Sometimes he'll show you what he's drawing. He's often working on secret projects.
Because I noticed that
Like that Superman he drew was amazing.
Yeah. So it's heavy hitters like Jeff and Steven hang out with some heavy hitters, which is why I'm honored that you graced
Spider-Man is badass.
My bootleg drink and draw.
You are both a figurative and literal heavy hitter.
Yeah.
So I think it works
but definitely check that out. I'll post the link to the YouTube channel.
It's fun. There's a lot of good stuff
fun.
on there. Yeah.
A lot of laughs and some amazing artwork from some amazing artists. But again, Jeff, Steven, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for
And
having
thank you everyone at
Thanks.
home who tuned in and joined us. Again, the artwork that was created tonight. I'll take it further and post it on social media as well. Miles, Wolverine, and Phoenix. I guess I'm the only one that didn't draw an X-Men.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
but we all,
so we all
made ours Marvel.
Yeah. Make mine Marvel.
We didn't even talk about
Oh,
it.
then mine's Sony.
That's true.
But yeah, other than that, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your stay here in New Zealand and safe travels. Tuesday night, I guess, if we're able to,
Dr.
we'll head
Sketches.
up Dr. Sketchy.
Cool.
And then, until next time.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Be
everyone.
kind to one another. That's all I've got to say.